Sweet. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the sponsor of this episode is Employee Escape Plan. And if you want to escape your soul-sucking job and create a business that you love, that makes you income that you deserve, the income that you deserve, and you want to earn more money, earn more customers, have them pay you more often, and just really enjoy the business that you're creating. This guy, Joe Nicasio, I've worked with him. He's my advisor. He's a marketing master powerhouse. And, Paul knows branding, and Joe knows branding and marketing. Anyways, Joe, this guy, he's an amazing dude. If you want to leave your job, employeeescapeplan.com. Definitely give a visit. He's super duper cool, and let him know that Chris sent you. Now, we're talking about the man of the hour, who I got mixed in there, and I apologize because I'm not comparing. Paul, you have your magic. Joe, you have your magic. Paul MacFarlane. He's the president and founder and professional human being of the 1101 Experiment. Paul is a business and brand strategist with a global Fortune 500 experience. He's a writer, designer, producer, director, public speaker, trainer, motivational, inspirational expert, screenplay writer, musician, and more. But it all comes from one place: Paul's desire to bring universal love, oneness, and success to businesses and individuals, to do good and help people realize their greatest potential. Love, peace, and understanding in everything Paul MacFarlane does. But business and brand strategist will do for today. Paul, you ready to rock the house? Awesome, man. You are now live on the show. Thank you so much for coming on again and just sharing your wisdom, man. Every time you're on here, it's a blast. You get me to think. I know I get you to think, and it's just this party, man. We have a mind party in here.
This is now officially the Chris and Paul show, just so everyone, all our affiliates.
Class is in session, baby. Awesome. So seriously, man, thank you so much. And for people who...
Well, thanks again for you doing another Wednesday marathon, giving voice to so many people who've got good things to share. And as you said, everyone will get something of benefit from everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to dive into your journey a little bit to catch people on, catch people up who haven't heard about you yet. Before we get there, when someone asks you, Paul, who are you really? What's your response?
Well, that's a big question. It demands a big answer. That big answer is quite simple. This is what is called Paul MacFarlane. But who I really am has always been here. Never born, never really died, just visiting for a time in this form. I'm a spirit of goodwill, love, and potentiality. So I'm here visiting and to spread everything I've learned along the way and what I can see going forward, to bring it into the present to make this a better world.
Beautiful. I love it. Your answers, they're amazing. Cool. So that's who you are, and it's interesting how people respond to that question, because a lot of how we live life, the perspective that we see life through, the lenses, is defined by who we believe we are as human beings. So for everyone out there listening in the audience, think about how Paul answered that question. Think about how the other guests answer that question, because I've asked a couple other people today. And recognize, what's the pattern? What do you hear coming up? What's the similarities? What's the differences? And then ask yourself, when someone asks you, who are you really, what's the answer that you come to? Is it, I'm this janitor, I'm this, CEO, I'm this executive, I'm this rock star, I'm this thing, this profession, this industry, this label, or is it something much bigger than that? This thing that's almost infinite, this thing that is eternal. What is you,
Essential, coming from the word essence.
Yes, essence. Absolutely. So, Paul, now that we've got that established, we got to check in with you, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's just interesting to hear where people come from when they answer that, and you can also hear what they prioritize in their life. What are they thinking about through their answer? So why don't you catch people up on a little bit more of your journey and how you got to where you are today, working with Fortune 500 companies, being a very eclectic expert in a lot of different things, working on a lot of different projects and skills and artistries. How did you become this person today?
Ever since I can remember, as a small little wee beastie, I've always liked to draw. I've always liked to write. I've always liked a good argument.
Mm.
That infused with a insatiable curiosity about all of existence from a small child. And I just eaten more and drunk more and eaten more and drunk more of everything I learned from every person, every book, every movie, every breath, every vista, everything. I just want to know more and want to know more. So as I became older, I discovered that girls were not necessarily the enemy. And people started telling me I was an artist. Oh, you're going to be a famous artist. You're going to do this and that. Oh, yeah, really? Okay. Well, I wasn't sure what that was. But in university, I was a fine art student, an illustration major, meaning I was an artist who could draw. Mm-hmm. The artists who couldn't draw were graphic designers. But as is my way, I always wander into places I'm not supposed to go. I went into their own library and I found these books of the best award annuals, the best work in photography, painting, illustration, and advertising. And in advertising was like, oh, there was writing, there was design, and there was a good argument. And I found my home, and I discovered that there was a rarefied top level of the advertising that I was drawn to. The award-winning, the really creative stuff, and that has just been an ongoing thing. And I keep developing more and more and more, bringing my human essence into my work, so that professional human being, right? What does that mean to me? That means the person I am and who I am at work is the same thing. I'm expressing who I am through my business, and my business gives flight to who I am. So that journey leading up to here has just become more meditative, more healthy, more passionate, and more persistent.
Wow, that's beautiful. And it sounds like balance has been important to you. You've been this artist, and no.
No, balance. No. I just do everything to the extreme. I play music all the way. I sleep all the way. I bicycle all the way. I write and design and pitch business and do things all the way. I don't think about balance. It either feels good or it doesn't. If it doesn't feel good, I do something else. So maybe balance is the byproduct.
Yeah. And you listen to
so that's for someone else to measure.
Yeah. Right. What is balance? Like what is that? Cool. I like that.
Yeah, and like balance to me might be imbalance to someone else. That's the freedom.
Yeah. But if it feels good to you, then that's the ultimate measure that we have as human beings.
What's the old expression? Let's just update it. If it feels good, keep on doing it.
Yes. Awesome. So then you started working with brands and bigger companies. Tell us what that's been like.
Hilarious in retrospect and on the aggregate, because we're all human beings. I'm working with a person who controls a $50 million project or a $500 project, we're still human beings. There's that need to want to feel like they're being seen, that we're being loved as a person, as a business, as a brand, whatever. And when you get into that, again, essential level of a business, brand, a person, all wanting essentially the same thing, the scale doesn't really matter. I've got clients who are trying to make $10,000. I have clients who are trying to make $100 million, and it doesn't matter. It's still that same thing. So the more I've learned, the more I see the essential similarity.
Wow. And so how do we start positioning ourselves in a way by targeting that essential layer so that people actually resonate with our brand? Or maybe we need to even dive first into why they're not in the first place.
I told you we would have something very simple and essentially almost unanswerable for most people. Why aren't people paying attention to your business and brand? Now, I think that's worth going into. Here's where I'd begin. Let's all get on the common ground. Tell the truth. Type it in the comments if you've got one or not. When is the last time you saw an ad or discovered a business or a brand that absolutely made your day? That made you feel like, wow, I'm so glad I'm alive right now to be experiencing this. When's the last time? Well, if we wait for an answer, our 60 minutes will go by very slowly. Fact is, they're hen's tooth rare. And there's reasons for that. But it's not so much for me to prosecute the reasons as much as to open up and examine why we don't. Well, a business or a brand, even my business, I have times when I send pitches out to clients. I want them to look at it, and they don't respond. Well, and they should, because I've sent them something amazing, and sometimes they don't respond. And I don't know what the reason is. But more often than not, they do. And everything I post on LinkedIn, do I get shares and likes? No. But I've got quite a good community of people who like what I do and support what I do. I'm not worried about it. But we've all had at some point that nagging doubt that maybe we're putting work out there and no one's paying any attention to it. That is happening everywhere. That's why the biggest clients in the world, the biggest marketers are scrambling, wondering, should they be doing something on Snapchat? Do we need to do some experiential event? Do we need to do some social graffiti? Do we need to just do data mining? And what do we do? And these are people in their 60s or 50s or 40s, sometimes even their 30s, who are overwhelmed by this. It's universal. So a small entrepreneur who's saying, I'm overwhelmed. Do I need to do this big Facebook campaign? What about Twitter? And what about this? And what about that? Okay, now let's go back. Why don't people pay attention to brands and businesses? Why don't you? Why don't I? Chris?
They're not.
What's your favorite brand in the world that makes your day every time you think about it?
Favorite brand in the world that makes my day every time I think about it. That's a great question. I like SoundCloud. SoundCloud. Speaking of sounds, I like SoundCloud. It's a music platform that delivers music to me, and it's all the music that I love. And every time I think about it, I'm like, thank God for this music. It just makes me feel amazing.
Thank God for the music, or thank God for SoundCloud?
The music.
Remember, YouTube. What content does YouTube or Facebook create? None. It's a platform for our content. All right, well, if you think of one later, bring it in. But the main thing is everyone should realize that it's a 99-1 world all the time. The ones that I always point to are the commercials that are done in Thailand. If you just go on YouTube or whatever, or even do a search on Facebook if you know how to do this, and look for commercial Thailand, you're going to see half a dozen, maybe 10 of these videos that are a minute or sometimes 5 minutes long, where they've got millions of views and the most effusive, emotional comments of how wonderful they thought the message was. You might think, what's special about Thailand? Well, that'd be another whole discussion. But the thing I'm opening up is realizing that people are not paying attention to our businesses and brands because we are not making people's day with everything we do. We are simply not making people's day with everything we do. How many people watching right now today put something out on Facebook, tweeted something, put something on LinkedIn, sent an email? Oh my gosh. Well, was that the very best you could do? Was that the most amazing, beautiful, inspiring thing you could possibly do? Well, before I say anything else, I will cut some slack. Some of the people doing this don't have the budget to hire a genius like me. Some of these people think they know what's good, but they're doing the best they can. I understand that. But that's the essential challenge. If you want people to pay attention to you, think, who do you pay attention to? What emails do you see every day where you think, oh, good, one of these? And what is there about it that you love?
There's not much.
No, it's the 99-1 world.
Yeah.
And anyone watching this, there's only three kinds of people watching this right now: those who are trust fund babies who are retired, who are just bored, or engaged and just have no need to earn a dollar. There are those who are employed by someone else, and their employer needs to be more successful for them to be more successful. And then there's the ones who are running their own business on some level and so desire their business to be better. But the common thread is you've got to be putting something out there with what you mean, what your business, your employer, your brand means, that makes people's day. You can make someone's day with making them cry. You can make someone's day with a tragedy. You can make someone's day with something thoughtful, funny, whatever. At the beginning, most people don't even get there. Like, for instance, every time I see you on these and I see that wonderful banner behind you that looks like, fiery phoenix flames shooting out of both ears, it makes me smile. Yeah. It's like, yeah. And then I try to see, with what you cut off the slogan down there, it's BU. It's like, it's not Bukak, it's Burchin, because you can see some of it, right? So occasionally, just if you're get a chair with wheels and just go past.
Right.
But every time I see that, there's something about it that I find essentially fun. And it's so you. That's why I follow you. You think, how many people who are on your show follow your show when they're not on it? I try to follow it every chance I get because I always get inspired from it. I love when you get excited and shout. I love when you laugh, and I like when you lean in, and I like seeing those flames shooting out of your ears.
I love it.
So you did it.
Yeah.
You succeeded. You're in the my 1% club.
Wow. So what did I do?
That. In other words, what you do for me harmonizes with me. In other words, that exuberance, that passion, that self-belief, and that roaring energy is something I like in myself, and I always want more of. See, it's something I already want, and it shows up in your manifestation. I found you at the right time through someone I already knew, and here we are. Yeah. There's something of that law of attraction and kind of luck and just synchronicity that happens. But when the rubber meets the road, you got to choose and know how to make someone's day with something. If you want people to follow you and pay attention to you, you've got to give them something really pretty amazing in this day and age to stop someone from just going.
So how do people who are listening to this step up to that level of excellence, care, attention, love in what they do so that it comes off on the other end? Because like you said, maybe people think that their stuff is amazing and great, but it's just not landing.
Well, if they think it's amazing and great, that's wonderful. That shows what? Self-belief. You got to have self-belief. You may believe in what you do, but you may be missing on the optimal way, the optimal way to communicate that to the world. So if you believe in what you do, you're on your way. If you don't, you got to spend that time, and not only me, the first guy before me, and other people can help you find your essence of what you really want to do, your passion. But once you know that, a good place to start is just watch TV. Watch everything on Facebook, watch everything on YouTube, and make a note of the things that millions of people are watching and why. Find things that move you and maybe analyze it. Well, why was it? What happened in the first 3 seconds? Remember, Facebook counts 3 seconds if you just pause as a view. That means the person who spent that money is told that someone viewed it. And they think, oh boy, someone viewed it. That really means they paused and looked at the first 3 seconds. So what happened in the first 3 seconds, right? Watch this world. Go to museum. Go see award-winning underground films. Go listen to music that your kids, or in some cases your grandkids, are listening to. Just expose yourself and see what moves you. And then maybe look at the things that millions of people are following. And if you can glean any insights from that, that's a good place to start.
Beautiful. So it's a lot of modeling what is already working, kind of having a study, an examination, like you were mentioning earlier, examining what is in the marketplace right now, what is working, what works for us. A lot of what will drive our customers is if we notice what's working for us, how can I take my human experience that I'm currently going through and look at what elevates my energy and put that in more of my stuff.
Exactly. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. The other point is studying success stories. And success stories from present day, even from the past. Read the life of Napoleon, if you want,
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a very nice guy, but he was good at some things. I think that studying what works, whether it's Richard Branson, Walt Disney, if you haven't got role models, get some. And listen to what their stories are, read and their stories, and find out how that motivates you. Like the classic, the giant of all self-motivation books, Think and Grow Rich. There are so many stories in there, even the first 2 chapters. And I won't even tell you what they are. I know them by heart. But 2 of those resonate for me every time I reread those stories. I just get such a fire when I get up and pester someone until they die. So find the stories that inspire you and borrow a cup of sugar to bake your own cake. Well, what the hell? Borrow the whole cake as long as you've got a copyright attorney. In other words, if you see something like on social media, a meme, just a graphic meme you like, copy it.
Yeah.
Maybe those colors or that number of words or the way it's laid out, play with it. If you have to do it yourself and you can't hire a genius like me, do it yourself and play with it and copy it. And if it looks too similar, then, but play with it. Don't be afraid. But raise your own taste levels.
Wow. So let's say people after this interview, they hear this great wisdom. They know that they should be doing more, but they still don't take that extra mile, go the extra mile, do the research. What can you say now to preempt them to hey, listen, I know you're probably going to still keep doing things the way that you've been doing because that's what the 99% people do that. What can we share with them now to really penetrate the noise and have them see it as a mandatory shift or new perspective or new action that they can take that's accessible, that is important, that is critical enough? I still think that we can build the case for them to actually do this.
I'll give you an example. Well, first of all, if you don't have the fire to want to be the best, I have no time for you. Go build the fire and then come back to me. If you don't have that fire to want to be something, get it.
Yeah.
Soak it in gasoline. But I'll tell you an example. Dollar Shave Club. It's been around for 2 or 3 years. And when it started, I don't know where Mike got all the money, but he did that first video where he's walking through the factory and crazy stuff going on, He wrote it himself. He appeared in it himself. Everything. And it wasn't that they spent $1 million making it, because they didn't. But it was so captivating because he had some people who advised him kind of what to do with it. But he did it himself, and he solved a problem and took that solution and just made it audacious. Look up the word audacious and bring some audacity to what you do, because it's really, really hard to stand out and stay standing out. What did we talk about last time? Who remembers Laughing Chewbacca Lady?
Laughing Chewbacca.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah. What's she been doing lately? So that wasn't her business, at least as far as we know. But imagine that was her business. Somehow charging people to watch her videos to laugh. Because she had that infectious laughter. You laughed along, right? If that was her business, my God, can she find something like that every week? To be fresh and get people to do it? I don't know. That's a challenge I'd like to see. But that audacity to do something so bold and so out there and so real and true is your best bet. You know why? Audacity costs nothing.
Wow.
Courage costs nothing.
Mm.
Now, if your courage has to be expressed by 3,000-piece marching band, going around the world, okay, you might need to get call in a lot of favors, but just pure audacity is a decision.
Mm.
And that's the beauty of this. When all is said and done, whether you've got money or you don't, artistry, humanity, truth, audacity is free for everybody. And actually, the really big companies are in short supply of that because of their layers, because of their bureaucracy, because of their anxiety and fear. You've got nothing but your own 2 feet to stand on. Do something amazing. And it's crazy stupid. People will forget about you. That's the good news. You can come back in 2 months with something different. They'll say, oh, that was the person who did that really stupid video. I like this, though.
Yes. So in terms of audacious projects, is there anything that you have coming up that you can give in your own life, your own examples that you're cooking up, or anything that you've done in the past that was super audacious, and whether or not it worked, you gave it a shot and you played at that level?
Sure. I'll talk about one thing I'm doing right now that takes audacity to do what I'm doing. And then I'll tell you about, no, first I'll tell you about the one from the past that was pretty audacious.
Okay.
I was talking to Midwest market manager for Nissan a few years ago. And I was talking to this guy about, how the change in auto dealerships, and more people, because the manufacturer is showing you how you can build your car on your device, pick your color, all your options, see what it's going to cost, get your financing worked out, everything. So when you're walking in the dealership, they're not selling you so much anymore as their order takers.
Yeah.
Big change, right? And a few other things. And he was like, yeah, we've been looking to see like an experiment of something like that. My word, not his, because the 1101 experiment's been ages.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, why don't we just pick a dealer and we'll fund doing a test case. So we picked a dealership in my town. And the slogan that I crafted was pretty audacious. Mm-hmm. It was called West County Nissan. And the slogan was West County Nissan. We're different. We're not different. Which is then craziness, right? But it really means is we're different in ways that you'll like, and we're not different in the ways you need us to be. But where those things are and how far, you don't know yet.
Wow. So
we even got people to start calling it Wicked Woodwind, because that's what you say, we're different. We're not different. Wicked Woodwind. And we did a website, Audacity, where there was a slider from not different to slightly different to different, very different to insanely different. And from not different was a standard site. And as you dragged it over, it got weirder and weirder and weirder until the last version of the site had all kinds of nonsense stuff. But if you clicked on them, they still took you to the things you need to do, and had things that would creep in from the edges. And it had an Easter egg. Remember Wicked Woodwind? If you clicked on the right section of that page, you were taken to a YouTube video we found, a little girl in a witch costume playing an oboe. Wicked Woodwind. Wiccan, witchery, woodwind. So the thing was, we found that the public loved this because they spent so much more time in the site. They played with it and see, like a game. Can I still look and see your used car things? I'm in this section. And he was like, wow, thank you. Something different.
Yeah.
The dealership hated it because all the plugins that they have to use to make their business run were constantly having problems when the slider went too far. And so we were working 24 hours a day trying to make everything work.
Yeah.
But the point was, that was just one example. The videos we did for them were crazy. We had the guys who washed the cars there as stars. We had grimy, mechanics as the stars. We implied that we would offer to go to the bathroom with you to do everything for you if you needed to. We went really extreme. Yeah. And people came to the dealership in droves, and they would hang out in the dealership 60% longer than ever before. It was beautiful. Wow. That's just one example. All right, so what am I doing now that takes audacity? You noticed you made that list of everything I do. Mm-hmm. I don't think world famous Hollywood screenwriter was in there. Mm. No. And Hollywood being very insular, secretive, good old boy network thing. It takes some audacity to break through that because, I've got this screenplay that we're all going to be seeing in some time in the future that's going to be a global blockbuster of billions of dollars of profit. I only need a few 100 million of that, so I'm making it easy on them. I did something audacious, and I found someone who works at a company that is owned by a guy who used to be the CEO of a major studio. And I got his home addresses. And the screenplay next week is going to his home addresses. It's going to more places than that, but this guy doesn't know me, and he's going to think these addresses are not public. It was someone I know who works at one of these companies who went into the records of the company. And so I think that's audacious. And that's something I'm doing. The screenplay itself is right down home plate. It's what Hollywood wants, and people are going to love it. It's the best story for the category and everything. But the energy it's going to take to make this happen requires audacity. So there's your two.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. So for people who are out there listening, I want you to step up to the plate right here, right now. Just make a commitment, make a decision that I will be audacious. And
make somebody's day with everything you do. You're going to send an email to someone, make their day with it somehow. You're going to post something on social media, make someone's day with it. You're going to talk to someone, make their day. How do you make their day? There's many lists of things you can do, but get in the spirit of when people get something from you in person, whatever, they feel like, wow.
That's amazing. So your assignment, ladies and gentlemen who are listening, is to start writing out ideas. How can I make people's day? How can I be more audacious? How can I play at a higher level? And I don't know if we said what audacious means, but in my definition, it's like bold, it's outrageous, it's like huge, playing at a much bigger level.
And as you said before, which was really smart, I want to repeat it, underscore it. Yeah. A way for people to get into that space is to think, what would make my day? If I can't remember anything, use your imagination. If you're married, what would your spouse do to make your day and your birthday? It's got to get in that kind of spirit of audacity and creativity and passion, right?
Yeah.
Just get into that space.
Yeah, and I know for me, even personally, when I was thinking about who has made my day, it's not like I have a list of things that just roll off my tongue, of all these products and services and things that have made my day, that have made me feel just joyous and like I'm lucky to be alive, so blessed to be alive. So it might take some work. It might take some massaging to develop our brains and minds into this mind that can create this more often. And the more often we think about it, is this going to make my customer's day? Is this going to make my audience's day? Is this going to really elevate their life and have them be proud that they have our relationship? Have them say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for sending this. This is what I've been waiting for. This is the answer to my prayers. That takes experimentation. That takes practice. That takes mastery. And it's not even a 100% thing after you've gotten competent at it. You're a master at it.
Well, another example, we talked about YouTube videos, movies, songs. Yeah. What song changes your day? What song makes you feel like you can do anything? I was out for a brunch the other day, and a guy behind the counter, you have all that meaningless speak, with people. Like, can I help you? Thank you. No, I always have to reach people, and you can tell. And this guy, I forget what I was telling him, but I kept pushing him to laugh. I kept trying to be sillier instead of get him to laugh. And he came walking back right and he put his hand on my shoulder and said, thanks. I really needed that today. Never doubt.
Wow. That's beautiful. So in addition to audacity, in addition to making people's day, wherever we are, whenever we go places, just really priming ourselves to see the world through that lens and creating a commitment to doing that. Put stickies, put phone reminders. If it's important to you, you'll put it in places so that you can see it more often, ladies and gentlemen out there listening. So what else can we do to accelerate ourselves and have our brand be a standout brand, be heard, be felt, be seen?
Well, listen to Chris Burns' show every Wednesday. That's one way to do it because you are so effing inspiring.
Thank you.
The heat and the explosive fire you bring should make almost anyone up their game. Yeah. And that's one of the benefits and the gifts that you have. And when you're around someone who's high energy and positive, it should be infectious. And it should make you want to risk should make you want to leap, to try, you know?
Wow.
Be around inspiring people, read inspiring things, watch inspiring things, stop watching depressing things, stop being around people who just suck your energy and complain and moan. Be around people who will go, go, go.
Hmm. What is keeping this message from actually landing for people and having the world live by this? What's missing? Like how come we can't just snap our fingers and have the whole world playing audaciously and with a I want to make this person's day mentality?
It's tonnage, Chris. It's tonnage.
Yeah.
I don't kid myself. If anyone is just a typical consumer of news and content, there's a lot of downer shit. There really is. The news, opinions, loudmouths, complainers. There's a tonnage of it. You've got to start respecting yourself more. You've got to start saying, what do I want to have inside of me? And you got to start tuning that crap out. And maybe that means get off of social media for a while until you know how to self-filter. Get outside more, you know, appreciate nature. Listen just to music, paint, draw, dance, feed yourself. Because I guarantee anybody, you're not aware of what all the stuff outside of you is putting in you. Weighs you down. That makes people think, what's the use? What's the use? Here, just put the crap out. No, you gotta be reborn every day.
Wow. It's beautiful. Being reborn. How do we do that? What does that take? What does that look like?
Oh, yeah, that's easy. You just die every day. You essentially die every day. Yeah. You leave the past behind. Let the dead bury the dead. You release everything you've ever thought that didn't serve you. You ask for things that do serve you and can lift you, inspire you, and help you be a force of greater good in this world every day. Die and be reborn. Well, I sort of do that every day, but every night as I'm going to sleep, I give gratitude for every single person I can think of and every experience and element and entity I can. And I never make it through my entire list before I'm out like a light. And then I've also started almost 2 weeks ago, transcendental meditation.
Nice.
Which is, it's the best.
Yeah.
20 minutes a day, twice a day. It's just beautiful. Find a certified TM teacher in your area. But that freshness that you have to look at the world as fresh. And the mark of a real successful entrepreneur is no matter what the exterior situation may be, you still have the fire, you still have the belief, you still have the joy. And if you get down so deep that you lose that, find someone like this guy here who will bust you out of it.
Yeah, let's go. Fired up, baby, fired up. We have Katie, who said, Katie Lasky, hey fellas, woot. We have Curtis making comments too. What's up, everyone? So, Paul, we're going to keep diving in. At the deepest level, remind us again, what is business all about?
Business is what you want it to be. In 2017, ever since that cyberspace thing started, you know, and told everyone's equal on the web. Well, fight for net neutrality. Remember that, because without that, then no one will be equal again. But what business is about is that you are solving a problem and solving in a way that is attractive to other people. Attractive so that your service or product will be purchased or shared. You have to always answer two basic questions. What's in it for me? Your target audience is saying, what's in it for me? That's the easy part. Now comes the hard part. Why only you? Which is why I preach. I do it several times a day with people. The diamond. The diamond. The sharp point, so people understand exactly what you are. No funny $50 words. I just want to get what you do. And as it widens out, you do your value proposition, which answers the question, why, what's in it for you, and why only me?
Mm-hmm.
And then the wide part, your authority, your experience, and why this is true in the world, so the person can feel better about your individual pitch. And then as it closes down, you make their sales pitch based on your value proposition, ask them to sign a dotted line, you're out. Every presentation should be like that. Every website should feel like that. Most websites are still online brochures where, like, I'm supposed to find what I want, I'm on my own. No, take people through a process. People, funnels? No, funnels aren't the way. It's two funnels. One that only lets in the people you really want, into, and then you boom down there. Wow. So business means you've got something that is good for the world, and you've got something that people will want.
Wow. What are some business trends that you're excited to capitalize on moving forward?
The cryptocurrency blockchain biz, which is going to eventually put banks out of business as we know them. It's going to change retail transactions from the way we understand them, but the experience will still be the same. I'm paying you for something. And because I just said the word pay and I looked at you, maybe you got paid, or maybe I tapped something, or maybe a person, rode a horse to pay you. I don't know, but I'm still doing it the same way. That's exciting because the blockchain and cryptocurrency thing running alongside brings transparency and fluidity at the same time, ultra security, and a sense of social fluidity. That means more peer-to-peer, person-to-person kind of relationships, which is nice. That's one I really like. And the second thing I'm excited about, or I could be nervous, but nervous and exciting is the same feeling. You just put a different label on it. Is our robot overlords. As of right now, we can unplug robots. In the future, who knows? Anything that no one really likes to do will be done by robots, and they are being done by robots, and they'll continue to be done by robots. And at the same time, we will become robotic, because I guarantee you, first time someone can have a chip put in their body that's operated from a smart device or whatever, that can de-wrinkle you, de-age you, grow more hair, change the color of your eyes, sculpt your body, give you the benefit of sleep without ever having to sleep, giving you strength and endurance and everything else. They'll do it, however much it costs. So that means the elite and the Hollywood types will be forever young, and young actors coming will not be able to get in because the people in their 50s and 60s now look like them. That'll be interesting. But at what point that filter down to the masses where almost everyone is able to do this or that, and they all start looking alike? Wow, then you'll have a counterculture that will break away and start looking unusual and different, like it always does. But I think that robotization of existence both ways is fascinating to me.
Yeah. I know something I'm committed to mastering as well is like our energetic systems and amplifying those, because each chakra has a different control of what manifests in our life. When one of these energy systems, chakra points, is expanded, what will shift in our way of being, what will shift in our physiology, what will shift. And if we have accessories and devices and things that can amplify and change that, like imagine, like we can wear power-ups like video games, right? Like you put on power-ups of these accessories and clothings and
literally, Chris, literally, because people who have grown up playing video games their whole life, that's what they know.
Yep.
In fact, I think just this morning I double-checked my consciousness is secure, uploaded to the cloud.
Gotta have a backup.
But we laugh about it, but I mean, I can see where things are going. But what's going to happen on the bumps in the way is what makes it interesting, because even though things go in a certain direction, certain players will happen that'll take it off in a different direction or magnify it. Like the biggest change of the internet for years, I thought, was email more than websites, because websites were just brochures online. Email was the thing, because it was a new thing we had to do. In the old days, we had phone calls. And we had mail. Now we still get things to mail. We still get phone calls. We have emails. We have text. We have messages on all these platforms. That's the big change. We've added and we've added and we've added. people say AR, AI, VR is going to be the next thing. Well, we've been teased with it for so long. In other words, I remember when I was a kid and watching the Jetsons or whatever, or Dick Tracy, video on a little device was something you said was coming. We're doing it now. So all the other kind of augmented reality stuff, I still think it looks preposterously stupid wearing the headsets. Because if you got a friend wearing headsets, you can prank them no end, right? You can lead them and make them fall into a river if you want, because they're right.
Yeah.
There's going to be another way, and you know what that's going to be: retinal implants, and we're going to choose to have technology in us, and maybe that's what alien technology really is. Maybe the fact that all these bumps in society from the pyramids and all these different things where aliens come and giving us a little wisdom, and Roswell brought the technology that's pointing us towards refinement of existence, becoming pure consciousness and technology. I don't know. If I think about it.
Yeah, I love it. I love
But
it.
for now, we're still squishy flesh bags. So
For now. We have David, who said, David Anderson, Crypt is only getting rid of back office banking and streamlines the process. And he said, I don't see big gains. Curtis said, coins are pennies to where it's going to be. David said, more efficient processes might help with ownership of the bonds, but how does that equal to big gains? And Curtis said, Game Shark.
right. Well, you see, right now the people in the crypto place are in at least two different camps. The most powerful camp is the grassroots camp that says, no, the benefit is we're not going to need big scale anymore. It's going to be all here. Yeah, but human nature says there are going to be people who want to be up here, and they'll have their version of it. I think in other words, all those comments are correct, I think.
Wow, that's awesome. And Curtis also said Mira's Prism is a better option to VR headsets.
Right. Better option, but it's not the ultimate one yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
In other words, well, you know it's going to come. If you and I are in the same space, and I just said, hey, you want to see this video? And I just gestured somehow, and it showed up in the space between us, and no one else can see it but us.
Oh, man.
You see, the device is still a middleman.
Mm-hmm.
And look at every other industry where we've killed the middleman.
Wow.
Booking travel, booking hotels, transportation, food, all that, right? So that's just going to be another middleman. They'll just disappear.
Wow. Well, there's got to be some kind of relay technology, right? But the device is it's contained to the device versus just space. Like, how do we utilize space with technology, with images, with sounds, with sharing information?
Study the unified field theory and some of that quantum stuff, because the idea that the so-called space between us has as much energy as that which is within each of us.
Yeah.
There are people who have postulated and formulated the idea that the amount of mass of space smaller than my thumbnail could power the entire global grid. Wow. Which suddenly that makes thing. But see, the receiving thing, our minds, right? That's the brain in here, but our minds, our consciousness, our receiving and broadcasting centers. And what do we have to be able to do that? Well, someone will say, let's just put a little chip in there. Let's put a little unit in there. Well, fine. We have pacemakers in our body. We're okay with that. That'll be the next, and people will be acceptable with that. And you'll be able to play with it, on your device if there is one. Go to, a kiosk somewhere, and they'll give you an extra razzly dazzly glittery one. You can put it in your system. It makes your eyes sparkle. You can do on Facebook Live where it makes your eyes and teeth sparkle.
Yeah.
You'll be able to really do that.
Yes. That's incredible, man.
For $5 a month or something.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Oh, my gosh. These microtransactions. Gotta love them.
but see, all of this doesn't matter. Bring it around. Unless you're making someone's day. If you're the 5 millionth person this week to have their teeth, shine and glitter in real life, who cares? Who cares if you're doing Facebook Live if your entire feed is Facebook Live? Whatever it is, whatever's going on, don't worry about it. You still have the opportunity to make someone's day. That's the job.
Wow. That's awesome.
Understand all the tools, understand all the technology. But the truth is, as long as we're sentient, conscious beings, you got to do something that makes people say, wow, that was cool. And not just, eh.
Right. It's beautiful. Curtis also said it's going to enable the new generation to be even better creators, more artists, etc. The average Joe can create a VR, AR game that people could pay $5 and play it. It's literally going to boom the app stores and video games as we know it.
Absolutely, because that's just how progress is. When I started, you had to send things out to a company to set the type for you. Oh, now I can do it myself. Well, you had to get a web builder to do it. No, you go to all these, you got a website. All that, just like you said, it's just relentless. What does it mean, though? Where is humanness in all this? That's the thing we have to play with and think about. Where are we as human beings in all this, as long as we are human beings?
Yes. Awesome. So, Paul, we're beginning to wrap up. What are the final takeaways you want our audience walking away with, doing, being, and having after this interview?
Yeah, people should realize that none of us are really paying attention to business and brands in general. Why? Because they're not giving us much of anything to want to pay attention to. I don't get a sense that most of the people who decide and create the things that we have to deal with really love us and really want us to feel amazing. The few times it happens, it truly does make our day because of contrast. It's an option that is available to every one of us. And if you don't know how to do it, reach out to me.
Yes.
If you know why you should do it, observe the world more essentially and more in depth, and see what motivates you. Because that's your job. If you've got your own business, you got your own side hustle you're trying to do, you still have to break through and make people say, wow. Don't just say, but I'll put it out there 500 times a week. Yeah, you may bludgeon someone into wanting to work with you, but I wouldn't stay in a relationship where someone bludgeoned me.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful, powerful. So, Paul, how do people stay connected with you, and what do you want them to do next?
I want people to follow me here on Facebook, and then from there they can follow me on other platforms if they want.
Cool.
They can reach out and be friends or whatever. But what I want them to do is to make a decision to make this a better world by doing something more amazing and beautiful in everything they do. It takes craft. And if they want to see what I mean by that, well, they can follow me, and I'll constantly talk and promote that kind of stuff. Spread the word, Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Paul.
And again, Chris, thank you for your beautiful cavalcade of high energy that feeds, inspires, and just erupts hour by hour by hour. I thank you for that. You're amazing.
Thank you, man. We are so blessed to be in this life together, man. And this is just the beginning. Just the beginning. Yes. I love it, man.
It's
I love
Chris and Paul show.
Yes. It's Chris and Paul show. Another episode.
No, it's the Chris and Paul show. They're the two you gotta know.
I love it, man. I llove you. Hope you have the best day ever, and we'll see you soon.
You too, brother. Take care, everybody. Thanks.